Anyone who's starting out in business or in business for a while will have aspirations, will have dreams, will have goals to achieve what they want to achieve. My name is David Hogan. I've been in business for over 20 years as a self-employed entrepreneur. And what I do is I help ambitious entrepreneurs to maximize their business by generating smarter sales and better profits. And I have 12 tips that I want to offer you that I believe will help you as a business owner to navigate the ups and downs of being in business over time. The first one is to build the right foundation. It's obvious, but it's not always applied by people, in that you can be so enthusiastic and so excited about your business that you don't always make sure that what you're building is sustainable over the medium to longer term. So just like building a house, you would make sure that the foundations are strong enough to take the weight of what you're putting over it so that it remains a solid structure. Apply the same thinking to your business. Build the right foundation. Make sure that you have the right people and resources in place from the start, and resources and people that are capable of growing and moving with the business as you achieve that success that you desire. So that's number one. Number two is start with the end in mind. So think about, well, what is it that I want to achieve with this business in the long run, over time? What type of a business is it going to look like? What culture do I want to develop within this business? What problems do I want to solve? What type of customers do I want to have? And remember that every decision that you make at the start is going to have an influence on the business that you end up having later. So always remember, as you start out or in the early days of a business, what's this going to look like in 5 or 10 years' time? And start with the end in mind and apply that thinking all the way through. Number three is set the right pace. Now, this is really, really important, and it's one of the biggest mistakes that people make in business, is that they try to grow too fast, too soon. And many really good businesses with good ideas and good products and services fail from overtrading, from growing too big too fast, and they start to creak under their own weight, where they're unable to manage their cash flows, they have too much activity, their customer service levels drop, and customers eventually will go somewhere else, or they're closed down for financial reasons because they're just not able to keep going at the pace that they started out. So the pace of the business, you set it and you make sure that you adjust it if need be, if you're going too fast too soon. Number four is be accountable. Be accountable to yourself for the actions that you're taking, the decisions that you're making, the level of work and effort and thought that you're putting into the business. And also have people around you that you're accountable to. Have an accountability partner or number of partners. A good example of an accountability partner could be your lawyer or solicitor, your accountant or financial advisor, your banker. It could be a spouse, partner, business partner, a senior colleague within the company, a director of the company, for example. So have people around you that you are held accountable by. In other words, that you tell them what you want for this business, and then that you're accountable to them to make sure that you're doing all you can to make that happen. Number five is measure your progress. Now, again, it's easy to get caught up in the momentum and the enthusiasm of a business and forget about this, but it's really important that you have benchmarks along the way that you're using to track your level of success and that you're on target. So that starts with a very comprehensive business plan day one, and that business plan would be reviewed regularly, and use the benchmarks within the business plan to measure your progress. So are you achieving the level of sales that you set out to achieve? Are your margins what you expected them to be? Are you managing your costs the way you're supposed to? Have you plans for the human resources? Are you managing those resources? Are you able to attract the right people when you need them? Are you able to adjust your resources, human or otherwise, if needed? So measuring your progress is really important to keep you on the straight and narrow. Number six is heed the warning signs. So heeding the warning signs is very important, because you will from time to time end up in a situation where things may not be going exactly the way you want. And that can happen in any business. It doesn't necessarily reflect on you, your ability, you as the leader or main person or one of the main people in the company. It can just happen because you can be susceptible to economic cycles or unexpected events such as the recent pandemic. So businesses will not necessarily always be a It won't be a smooth run all the way from early stages up to strong, sustainable profitability. You will have your ups and downs, and it's to watch out for those. Look for the signs if things are not going according to plan and ignore them at your peril. So number 7 then is, if you do see that there are aspects to your business that need attention, it's really important to take corrective action on those things before they become a bigger problem. Again, people are very busy when they're running businesses. They have home life as well, and they have other things going on, and their business can consume them. And it's perfectly natural for them to be so focused on driving the business forward that you might miss things. But when you spot something that's not quite right about some aspect of your business, be it related to a staff member, be it related to the costs of the materials that you might have to buy for your business or the suppliers that you're dealing with, be it in relation to the trends with your customers in terms of how you're getting your customers, how difficult it may be to get your customers, is demand steady, growing or dropping, and the margins that you're making. So if you spot a problem with any of those things, take corrective action. Don't let those things fester, because if you do, they'll come back to bite you later and the problem will be a lot worse. Number 8 is acknowledge where you are in your business at any time. I mean that in both a positive and a negative way. If you're ticking all the boxes and you're having resounding success in your business, acknowledge that, acknowledge the effort of everybody involved in generating that, all the staff, all those people who helped you to start. It could be investors, it could be your banker, your advisors, your spouse, your family, whoever helped you. Acknowledge their contribution to the success of the company and celebrate those milestones. Really, really important to keep the good energy going in your business. Equally, if things are not working out the way they're supposed to or the way you wanted them to versus what you had planned, it's really important that you acknowledge that. Don't ignore it. Accept that, well, we have a problem here, and the path to a solution to any problem is firstly acknowledging that you have it. So number 9 then is accept responsibility. If you're the driver of the business, if you're the managing director or a key person in the business is your responsibility. It's not anybody else's. Other people may have played parts in the challenges that you might have, but it's your responsibility to lead from the front. So accept responsibility for where things are, and that's another good starting point to solve the problems. Number 10 then is design a recovery plan. So once you see that you may have some challenges in your business or some aspect of your business that's not quite on track or the way you had planned at the start, well, once you've identified it, then you sit down, think about it, with the input of your advisors, your employees, even your customers. You design a recovery plan for that part of the business or the business in its entirety. And I think that's really relevant right now with so many businesses all around the world severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And while some businesses have thrived, many businesses have had to adjust substantially, and some haven't even been able to trade at all during the last 12 plus months. So those businesses, as things start to open up again, they need a recovery plan, and that recovery plan comes from you as the driver and the generator of the business. And get input from everybody who can help you with that recovery plan so that you have a sustainable footing for the future. Number 11 then is ask for help. So if you have to come up with a new plan for your business, for a new environment, or for the new reality of doing business for you post a challenge or a crisis or a setback, and you may be struggling about, well, where am I going? What direction is my business going in? Ask for help. Ask for help from mentors. Ask for help from other successful business owners in your sector that you're not directly competing against. And I know myself that if someone ever asked me for help in business as a fellow entrepreneur and business owner, I would always lend a hand. I would give my advice, my experience, because I want to see them be successful, because someday the shoe could be on the other foot where it'll be me who might need some guidance and help. And many times I've had to ask for that help. And the hardest part is actually admitting you need the help. But once you do and you put your hand up and ask, you'll be surprised about the positive support you're going to get. So ask for help if you need it, and it'll help you get back on track. And finally, regardless of the circumstances you find yourself in business, either now or in the future, on that roller coaster ride of being an entrepreneur, no matter what the setback is, no matter what challenges you have, pick yourself up and go forward with confidence and self-belief that you will persevere. The same talents and abilities and character qualities that got you to the point of being brave enough to be an entrepreneur in the first place will sustain you during a tricky, challenging time. Just remember that hasn't changed and it never will. So use that as a motivational factor to drive on again. So I wish you the best in business and see you out there again. If you want any more information about myself and the services that I offer, you can go to david-hogan.com, and thank you so much for listening today.